Hello, Team Whalers. So I've always wanted to try one of these video diagram things to go over positioning and formations, and figured without practices, this was a good opportunity to give this a shot and see how it goes. Definitely want your feedback on this. I did record one of these and it was 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can barely sit through this. So I'm going to break these up into short little clips that I'll do over a few days, just kind of going over some of our formations and positioning. And so for video number one, we are starting with defense. And everybody on my team knows that defense is our most important position. I do not be shy about that at all. This photo right here is courtesy of Scott Sterling, Brecca, my daughter's favorite defensive player in soccer, I guess you would say. Scott Sterling is the man, the myth, and the legend. If you have not seen it, recommend you Google Scott Sterling soccer immediately after this very important video that you're going to watch first, because it gets quite the rise out of Brecken. So we'll use that as our backdrop to get things started here. All right, so we are using the 8v8 formation or league. We're in the league of 8v8. Despite the snafu of last week's game, we are definitely 8v8, not 7v7, so we will be using this blocker. And obviously that kind of threw us off in the last game. And thanks again to Jason and Chris for helping to work through all that with our pre-scheduled lineup not working out and getting people into the game efficiently. So moving forward, we have the blocker. So we're going to be going over that and these two defenders in this short video that I'm going to keep short, I swear. All right, I'm going to start with the two defenders. And the two defenders have halves, right? So one's on one half, one's on the other, just like the wings. So basically that means that you typically don't go to the other side. That's a bad thing to be doing. We need the width here to spread this out for both the defense and the wings. So it's important that they do that. Then there's going to be what's called the strong side and weak side with each of these. So when the ball is on this side, this person is on the strong side then. So this whole half of the field here is the strong side. And we want to have happen is the strong side defensive player to be a little bit more ahead and the weak side player to be shifted over, of course, like we just covered, not beyond half. Don't ever go over there, but to be shifted over, but also slightly behind. So I know in other soccer formations later on, you're going to want your defense lined up and be controlling kind of an offside position. That doesn't matter indoor, and that really doesn't matter even for spring soccer coming around at the U10 level. The offsides at the build-out line, it's just very hard to kind of get that call anyway. So we definitely want these guys staggered. So strong side means where the ball is. Strong side defender, you want to be up. Weak side defender, you want to be back. So if this ball moves over here, then we're expecting this defender to be between the ball and the goal and up, and this one to be back, kind of behind is that next line of defense. So that's what we're kind of talking about with now this is the strong side and this is the weak side. So what it looks like in an actual defensive position on this slide here is the defender is going to be on the ball or on the person that is trying to score. And our weak side defender here is all the way pushed over because the ball is all the way kind of back here. So we want them basically right in the middle. We're going to have the blocker in here as well, and I'll introduce that later. But the important thing here is that we have the defender position here and that we don't have the defender coming out here or maintaining their positioning out here because we're leaving an open gap. So why do we want the defender right here? I mean, it kind of makes sense. We got some excited defenders that love to just go and get in the way. Heck, let's throw in the wing. Let's throw in this guy here. So if we throw a bunch of people here, there's still only two outcomes that can happen. One outcome is we win the ball and now we have nobody to pass to and we're in our own way. And the other outcome is they get by us and now we've just gone past three people and we have only our goalie left. So we want to avoid that. So this defender will be positioned here. So again, strong sides on the ball, they're attacking. the person that's attacking. They're on the person that's attacking, and this defender is slid over. So again, if this were over here, we would expect this defender to be on ball and this defender to be slightly back as the next line of defense. If they do get by there, then it is the one and only, I guess you could say, permissible action to go ahead and cross. If you're literally the last and only hope, we don't want everyone to think that this is very rigid, but generally you want to come to the middle here. All right, then blocker. So we'll introduce blocker, and blockers are generally in the middle, right? So we don't want them going up on the sides too much. Then we have our midfield and our striker. So the blocker, I will say though, when the ball is up in the offense, it's okay for them to slide over a bit more. We definitely don't want the midfield doing this though. We don't want the midfielder to be coming up as well as the blocker, as well as the defender. Then we have the whole open middle, which is the worst thing that can happen. So you want the midfielder actually to be cutting off any sort of pass to the middle. So that's more their job. They can go to the strong side. They can kind of ease up like this, but they generally have to stay in the middle because we don't want that pass coming back. The blocker, on the other hand, is part of the defense, so they should be coming up a bit. They can go a little bit past my guidelines, being between the ball and the goal. It's okay if this ball runs all the way along the wall. That's not a huge threat. It's when they get it into the middle that's a threat. So the blocker should be obviously behind the ball, behind the midfield, but would be following the ball, staying in line with the ball as it moves. So just like that. Then what that looks like in a fully collapsed position, and my last slide, I swear, is we have defender on ball here, blocker in the middle, and then that weak side defender all the way over. So ideally what we want is this blocker, when the ball is past the build-out line, as it is here, we want them patrolling kind of the middle here, patrolling this penalty box or goalie box. And they're staying between the ball and the goal. They're adding the width. They're helping to add width here. So this defender could stay up a bit more when the blocker is in here. We want to maintain that good spacing for the rule of saying, okay, if we have 3 people on ball, it's not really that helpful. We want to think of what the next step is there. So the blocker should be getting back. The midfielder should not be entering the goalie box area. They're already running all the way from goalie box to goalie box. So we want them coming back past the middle, past the build-out line, but we don't want them coming into the penalty box and wasting more energy there. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's a quick overview of the defense and switching that needs to be happening to help us not give up any easy goals. So if you found this helpful, great. Please let me know. If you didn't, any feedback, that'd be awesome. I'll try and send another one going over the midfield and the striker positions in a couple days. And we don't have a game until after Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And hope to see you Sunday. Thank you.